Hey, how's it going? It's Keith Townsend from the CTOadvisor.com with another CTO dose. You might say, Keith, the background looks familiar. It's because we're at Datrium again. The last time we were here, we were doing the build day with the V Brownbed crew. A lot of great content has come out of that. A lot of great interest in the Cloud DVX and Datrium's DVX solutions as a result. So we're back to have yet another conversation. Joining me today is two very familiar faces, Tushar.
Hi. Hey guys.
And Hugo. So let's get right off into it. Open Convergence. Last week we did a video with Tech Field Day and great conversation with a competitor. And there was this concept of extending the idea of what HCI is. You guys went a completely different way. You gave a really great definition of open convergence the last time I was here. Yeah. Has that changed?
So I'd say it's extended.
Okay.
As we are extending our coverage to include the cloud, we're now combining three key pillars or legs of the stool for IT infrastructure. And so that includes world-class primary storage with world-class performance. That was kind of our first story. And then the second leg we added was the built-in data protection or backup with fine-grained per VM snapshots and cost-effective, world-class cost efficiency for the retention of those. And now we extend that to the cloud. So a virtual DVX running at Amazon that can receive those snapshots for archival or backup in the cloud.
So store it, you guys world-class storage solution, back it up, protect it, and now extend it to the cloud. Mm-hmm. Now help me out with this, Tushar. You guys had a really significant presence at AWS reInvent. Help me understand. You guys, I hear the story, but when I think about Cloud DVX, I pause a bit because the last time we were here, famously, I was in the next room next door, and I wanted to pull the cables of the Datrium DVX system here. Right. Datrium, when I think of Datrium, I think of boxes. Help me understand how the architecture is extended out to the cloud.
Sure, absolutely, Keith. So first of all of the IP that Datrium brings to the table is delivered in the form of a software. Right? Okay. We do run our software on hosts, which provide all of our data services, including deduplication, compression, erasure coding, all of that. What we have done with Cloud DVX is we've extended that same technology and allowed it to run natively in AWS. And what that means for our customers is they get the same level of data efficiency, they get the same IO stack that they love on-prem in cloud, leading to a whole lot of cost efficiencies that was just not possible before that.
So let's talk about the overall market of where Datrium DVX and Cloud DVX fits in. There's been an awful lot of attention around the ability to run services within AWS, similar to the services that we run on-prem. People are concerned about day two operations. How do I not only deploy applications faster, but how I maintain those systems in the cloud in the case of a DR, or if I'm extending my data center out to the cloud. How does Datrium DVX plus Cloud DVX help me with day two operations?
Absolutely, that's a great question, and I think that's squarely what we've been focused on. So if you think about the existing backup to cloud market, you see that there are really three challenges that customers have. Right? One is they either need a separate system on-prem to get to the cloud, or B, they need to learn AWS itself, which is basically summarized as it's very complex. Right. You need to learn multiple systems. There's also a cost problem because many of the approaches that we have today do not offer the best level of data reduction possible in the cloud. And in the cloud, you pay per use and you pay for all the storage you consume. The third problem is the whole reason why people back up in the cloud is to restore that data in a quick manner. And so RTO is a big concern, right? What Datrium has done is created this Cloud DVX offering, which is delivered as a service. So customers do not need another system on-prem. The DVX system is the system that can go straight to cloud. They don't need to learn Amazon at all because we take care of all of that for our customers. It's super cost efficient because we do in-cloud deduplication of data. Cloud only receives unique data from all of the sites. It's forever incremental. And third, it's fast RTO because we're only transferring unique data back from cloud to the on-prem system. At the same time, data goes straight from cloud to the production system where it can just be restarted. There is no hydration required like in case of backup system. So from a customer perspective, all of that means that they can simplify a lot of their infrastructure by buying less. They can make their cloud a lot more cost efficient, and they can improve their recovery times.
So what's the customer reaction to this? Is open convergence in general something that's resonating with customers versus traditional three-tier storage architectures? Other HCI solutions, this concept of open convergence where I'm taking a architecture that I can have on-prem and extend that to the cloud. What are our customers getting this? I mean, this is not, when I think of cloud, I think about S3 storage, object-based storage. I think of cost of replicating in and out. I'm thinking about data usage. So as a primary and secondary method for storing bits, yeah, technically it works, but operationally, what's the conversation that customers are having operationally about your solution?
Sure. So Hugh can add to this, but I think I can kind of give you some perspective based on my conversations with customers. Call after call, this message is resonating in a big way. I think it's so interesting and exciting for us here that we go into a customer and we present this vision of integrated primary, backup, and cloud, and customers say, this is exactly what I want. So it's been a great source of excitement for all of us that this is what customers' vision is for their own data centers. And it's natural because as with everything, there is a requirement for more and more convergence. And what Datrium is bringing to the table is the ability for customers to look at a VM over its entire lifecycle converged on a single platform all the way from primary, backup, and cloud. And what this means...
customers have been hearing about cloud for a long time.
Right.
They see there's a lot of buzz about it. There's a lot of interest. But actually using it is not trivial. As Too Sharp pointed out, it can be very complex. So there's been a desire to leverage the cloud more. But for many, it's not clear how to proceed with that. How do you get started? And when we tell the DVX story and the three pieces, including the extension to the cloud, and they realize that they can start leveraging the cloud just as a service with just a couple of clicks in the GUI, then they're like, this is great. Now I can see how to get there, where as opposed to just a huge daunting learning curve and a whole lot of new services you would need to put in place to monitor and restart and manage things running in the cloud. We take care of all of that with by treating the Cloud DVX as a service, a SaaS offering. And so that really does resonate. It really appeals to a lot of the customers we talk to.
So let's talk a little bit more about that SaaS service offering. Their services in the cloud are delivered in a financially, it's packaged in 1,000 different ways. Mm-hmm. How is Cloud DVX packaged? Is this my own AWS infrastructure? Is this your AWS infrastructure and you bill me back for that? How do I buy this solution?
Yeah, so I think one of the key and core principles behind how we have always operated is it's to allow customers the choice and openness to bring their own infrastructure, and that's no different with Cloud DVX. In the Cloud DVX product, customers bring their own AWS account. They get charged by AWS for whatever resources get consumed in AWS at no markups from Datrium.
Right.
We provide a software service that leverages the resources in AWS to provide customers the ability to back up to the cloud, and that's what we charge customers for. From a customer's perspective, they need an on-prem DVX, and they need the Cloud DVX software, and that's all they need to get to the cloud from a backup and retention purposes.
So let's talk a little bit more about, let's peel back that a little bit more and talk about what components exist in the customer's environment
Sure.
versus what components exist on Datrium's backend. Where's the dependency? Is the control plane in Datrium's infrastructure and the data plane in the customer's infrastructure? Where's that architecture?
Sure,
Where's the
absolutely.
architecture?
So from from a solution standpoint, the cloud DVX solution is as simple from a customer perspective as adding a couple of credentials on their AWS credentials on their on-prem system, and at that point, the on-prem system, in conjunction with the resources in AWS, spin up everything that is
So
required to
my
offer cloud
on-prem
DVX.
my on-prem Datrium DVX is the control plane,
Is the control plane.
and I now extend that data plane out to the cloud.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if from a smartphone analogy, that's exactly like what you get with when you back up photos to a cloud infrastructure. From a customer perspective, the DVX system is that phone, and their data gets stored in the cloud, and they can bring it back at any time they want with that level of simplicity.
So if someone wants to find out more about cloud DVX, where do they go? Like, if I want to engage Datrium, how do I? Which is, I think, a question I walked away from last time is, how do I buy a Datrium DVX? Simple question I got after, hey Keith, how do you buy a Datrium cloud DVX or Datrium DVX, the physical hardware layer, the software? How do I contact you guys?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we work with a lot of channel partners out in the US and in Japan. So our customers can reach out to any of those, and it's really simple. One of the key benefits we have is they can use their own compute nodes on-prem. They can install the Datrium software on it and bring in the data node, which is the hardware component that we sell. Or they can buy the end-to-end solution from Datrium on-prem, in which case we sell the compute nodes and the data node for an end-to-end support experience. When they have that, they can just buy the Cloud DVX software and have an AWS account, and that's all they need for them to start storing data in the Amazon Web Services S3 storage.
So, Tushar, I really appreciate that simple solution. I can't believe, as the CTO advisor, I didn't ask, how do I buy the product? My fault. But I really appreciate Datrium for sponsoring the CTO Dose on-prem at Datrium here in Silicon Valley. We're going to get in a lot more conversation. I have a lot more questions. Stay tuned. We'll make a playlist out of this. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. You can just Google the CTO Advisor. There's not many of us out there. And we'll continue the conversation at Datrium. Until then, you can follow me on the web, thectoadvisor.com, on Twitter, at CTO Advisor. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Talk to you next CTO Dose.